It is 6 o'clock, and we are officially live, like actually live. Like we figured out how to do it this time live, right?
Right.
Big thanks to Taylor and Nathan and Jason and DJ, who all had to come together to help us figure this out. So we have the answer to the first question: how many alcoholics does it take to set up a live? The answer is, in fact, five. Um, five. So we are here today, and I'm going to stop talking because we've got a really special guest. I guess this way on the camera leads to you, right? Like that.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Really special guest.
You did that wrong yesterday, by the way.
I know. I saw it when we uploaded the video. I was laughing about it. So we got a really awesome interview yesterday from Taylor, who is someone who I love and respect, and who has just like totally rocked this recovery game. And today we get to hear from her better half, and someone who I've I've known since I got sober, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I remember you getting here.
yeah, it was
Hot mess.
rough.
Hot mess. Yeah.
I still am.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue that.
So I'm so excited to share this with you. So this is Jason, and he has graciously told us that we can ask him anything. So we're going to go deep, and we're going to make him cry. Those of you who know Jason know that he likes to cry, and he will cry during this interview. That's my goal. I hope to get him crying 10 minutes in and get 2 or 3 good cries before the end. So, with that being said, here is Jason. And Jason, the first question I have for you is just who are you and why in the heck did you get sober?
Who am I? The question to end all questions. We struggled with that yesterday. I'm Jason, and it. I still don't, and I'm very grateful that I don't know exactly who I am.
Mm,
Um, I am a recovering alcoholic, drug addict, who lived. I thought I was this brave guy. I'm the little guy. I'm not very big. Anybody that knows me knows that. That would jump into anything, any job, anything, sports, and would literally fight anybody. I was not scared of anything. You ask me, and coming into this, recovery, and finally taking a look at myself, I was scared of everything.
yeah.
And I mean, being in recovery and learning a little bit about who I am and what makes me tick. I know now that I still have a lot of fear. Taylor touched on it yesterday. Getting married. I was in a marriage for a long time, very unhealthy relationship, and to get married again, very
Mhm.
scary. To buy a home, very scary. And to have another child, what a blessing, but again, very scary.
Right.
um, and the reason I got into recovery is because a lot of people get thrown in jail. A lot of people, their families force them in. I was tired. I,
Mhm.
I was simply tired. I didn't want to do it anymore. The last 2 months of my addiction, active addiction, I probably didn't leave the house, except when my unemployment check would come in, and I would take it straight to the liquor store, um, and cash it. And I have found a whole new life, something that I never knew existed. Really, to be honest with you, um,
Mhm.
Taylor's tilting the computer on me, and today I'm uh, I'm happier than I could ever be. Ever thought I would be. It's a beautiful life. Whoever knew? If I would have
Right.
known this was available, I would have done something so long ago. So long ago. But I didn't. I have two other children, two other boys
Mhm.
who, I mean, I drug through countless evictions. homelessness at one point, and my oldest son he's literally been to almost every school in Glenn County.
Wow.
That being said, I'm also a recovering addict getting sober in my hometown. This is where I grew up. This is where I've lived my whole life, which a lot of people don't get it. They don't understand how I can get sober here.
Yeah.
But I was done. Like I said, I was tired. And
So one of the things I think that you said that I want to touch on. So first of all, how long ago was that? So like how long have you not had to use drugs and alcohol to change the way you feel?
you're gonna make me cry fast. Um,
It's crazy, right? It's crazy to talk about. Like
yeah,
when I say my sobriety date, I'm still like, oh my gosh.
yeah, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
um, God willing, if something don't happen, I'll have 8 years tomorrow.
Wow. What if
Um,
I didn't even know that? What a perfect time to be doing this.
I know.
How cool.
Yeah. Can I have tissue? It's gonna get bad. Oh, it's gonna get bad. I'm box tissue. For everybody that knows me, they know I got to keep this handy. Uh, yeah, 8 years tomorrow, and it has
Wow.
not all been easy. It
Yeah.
has it has been hard.
Hmm.
It's been very hard.
So when you say hard, what is it about, 8 years is a long time, right? So that's a long time for like really awesome things to happen. And
Mhm.
I know most of us who are in long-term recovery know that like it's not always like this, right? Like it's not always like sunshine and rainbows. Like sometimes it's hard, right?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
glad I
life
like
happens.
randomly had this sitting here.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so could you no, go ahead.
life continues to happen.
Hmm.
Uh, and for the past 8 years, I've not had my crutch to lean on when times get hard to numb the pain or to disappear for a little while. I've
Right.
had to face all of life's problems head on
Mhm.
and adult, if you will. So in one year, I lost my father, my grandmother, and my one of my aunts disappeared. And to be honest with you, what probably would have it may have killed me if I was still in active addiction. Um, but that all being said, it was maybe one of the easiest years I've had in recovery. Simply,
Why is that? Can you elaborate on that? I mean, that's a powerful statement.
um, I've had a few sponsors, and I went through. I had I hit a bottom in recovery.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people might not get that, but a bottom got me here. I got to a low point, and it got me in recovery. And then I found myself at a low point in recovery, and I got a new sponsor, and we went on a spiritual journey, if you will, just literally just talking to this person.
Hmm.
Um,
And
and
there's something pretty interesting about that person too, right?
there is.
Okay. Do you mind sharing with the group? Because one of the reasons why I love you, Jason, is because you are willing to like not just like do what everyone is told to do. Like you figure out what works for you in the moment and you ride with it. So what was different about your sponsor that might be kind of like stigmatized in the rooms?
My sponsor was at that point a woman.
Okay. And
Quite
so why did you choose a woman to be your sponsor?
because this person literally, for the first 3.5 years of my recovery, every time I talked to this person, everything this person told me made sense.
Hmm.
Um, Everything this person told me, and I took her advice, helped.
Okay.
Um, and something about the way this person just is. Um, this person means the world to me.
Yeah.
uh, she knows a lot about human nature. She knows a
Mhm.
lot about recovery, and she she told me what to do, and I
Right.
did it, and my life got so much better because I trust her, and I even to this day, almost 8 years in, I still have trust issues.
Mm,
and most of them stem from things I've done, and the people I ran around with while I was out there.
absolutely.
I hurt a lot of people, and a lot of people hurt me. So trust is a big, big deal with me. It's still very hard. I have a very small circle of people I trust, and this person is at the top of that list. She made quite a difference in my life. If not for her, like I said, that probably maybe would have sent me back out, and if I was still in addiction, probably would have killed me.
I mean, that's a perfect answer. So, I want to kind of paint a visual because I do think like I think it's so brave that you did that, especially I mean, we live in South Georgia, right? So like there's kind of like this like unstated like this is the way things are, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what did that feel like? Like at that moment where you made the decision to ask this person to sponsor you? Like what was going through your head? Like what were kind of the feelings and like the emotions behind that?
the you know For a while she was just somebody I talked to, and then she was finally like, okay, I guess I'm your sponsor, um, because like I said, I was at a very low point.
Hmm.
um,
So she kind of made the decision for you.
yeah, I,
Okay.
I wanted it, but she finally gave in. I kind of hound dogged her for a little while, and just kept calling her every day. She actually she called me one day and asked me if I would come look at some work at her house.
Hmm.
And I said, you know what? Yes, I will. And I had ulterior motives. I showed
Spiritual
up.
ulterior motives,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
not the dirty kind.
No, no, no. I showed up one day and she opened the door and she said, "Hey, honey." And I lost it. You know me.
Yeah.
I lost it. She said, "Come on, sit down." We literally sat in her living room for about 3 hours, and I just dumped everything out. And she listened. And before I left, she gave me a list and a couple of extra books that I didn't already have, to read every day. And she gave me a list of about 5 or 6 things and said, "Do these every single day
What
and
were
call
those
me."
things?
It was prayer. It was do my readings. It was talk to other alcoholics. It was do not communicate with a certain somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
and
tell us to do that sometimes, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was, and that was. I mean, if we're full transparency, that was it. I got into a relationship and ended up toxic, and it ended badly.
Hmm.
Um, and that's why I tell people today, it's not, are you spiritually fit enough to get into a relationship in early recovery, is are you spiritually fit enough for it to end? Because more than likely it will, and it did, and I
Mm.
was not. you know
Well,
I
you
was great.
were.
Yeah,
You
I
were
was
because
great.
did you get drunk?
Almost.
But did you get drunk?
I did not.
Did you grow through it?
Immensely.
Hell yeah.
Immensely.
Hell yeah.
I learned what not to do with my um, wife that I have now. I learned what I want, what I don't want.
Hmm.
I learned a lot about who I am in a relationship, and how I need to act, and how I will expect my significant other to act.
I love that. And I'll share with you, I had the same experience. I mean, I went through a relationship early on in recovery, and
Yep.
um, was I okay when it ended?
Ah,
No, I was batty,
no.
right? I was all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
I lost like 40 pounds because I like
Woo.
wasn't eating, like not purposely. I just was like depressed and like freaking out, right?
Mhm.
Um, but that relationship, the end, the pain,
Mhm.
catapulted me to the next phase of my recovery. Like I decided to go back to school. Like I just was like, you
Mhm.
know what? Like I've got to do this, and it can't be about a guy. And so
Right.
without that relationship that started in early recovery, right, I never would be at the place that I am now. So
Oh
there's
yeah.
so much about just don't drink and go through it because that gross I'm going through it part
Yeah.
is the sweet spot.
Oh, it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful.
Absolutely.
Very powerful. I don't regret any of it.
Okay.
I'm grateful for it.
So I guess we can kind of segue then because we talked about this past relationships and the fact that you have a freaking awesome sponsor who's a woman and like you've done all this stuff, right? You've done well and you've failed. Now before we hopped on this live, you were telling me something that kind of resonated with me about how like you had kind of done everything before, right? Like you had built these businesses, you had done all of this stuff, like this I'm successful stuff, right? And then you lost it all. Can you kind of like take us through like what that looked like and kind of how you built it again and how it feels different today than it did back then? Or if it doesn't feel different, I don't know.
It definitely feels different. I I'm a definitely a chronic alcoholic thinker. I'm in my mind, I'm smarter than everybody. It's horrible. Yeah. So I'm not always the best employee because I think I'm smarter than my boss.
Right.
So years ago, with the help of my uncle, my aunt, I started my own landscaping business, and
Mhm.
it took off. I was doing really well. I was young. God, I was young, and I was making a lot of money.
Mhm.
And I acquired a very nasty habit in the middle of all that, and eventually could not keep up. Um, I got to the point where I didn't want to get out of the bed and go to work. I was not able to maintain my equipment anymore, and eventually I quit going. I quit showing up. I lost my accounts, and not long after that, I faced my first eviction
Mhm.
with a wife and two children. I had a son that was 5 and a son that was not even 1 yet at the
Wow.
time. And we were being evicted for the first time. I came home one day from work, working with somebody else because I lost mine, and there was sheriff's department and the landlord, and they were putting everything out in the yard, and we had to go. No option anymore. And after that, we faced numerous other evictions because I could get any job.
Mhm.
I never had a problem getting a job. Never had a problem finding work. My problem was holding on to a job. I was either sick or anxious to get off, or so I was a hothead. So I would end up arguing with people, or I would just call in sick all the time or not show up,
Right.
and I would lose my job. So, oh, I hear myself. And that being said, once I started getting sober, um, I lost like 3 jobs in early recovery.
Right.
So I was working with a couple painters, and I decided I was going to start a little pressure washing business, and just pressure wash some houses. And I, you know, here's the greatest thing to me in recovery is that nothing I got by myself. And I've had a lot of people tell me different. They've all told me, no, you worked really hard, you did all this. There were people there the entire
Mhm.
time, and they helped me start this little pressure washing business that turned into a painting company, and it's been just one blessing after another. That being said, owning your own company is hard.
Right.
It's hard, and it's not always fun. And I can go from rags to riches in a month's time. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I absolutely love it. My sons work with me, and Taylor, I bless her heart. Taylor, before she got super pregnant and had the
She
baby,
was super pregnant.
she was super pregnant at
Yeah.
the end. She actually worked with us too. I love her being able to be home with our baby, but I'm really anxious for Mama to come back to work
Right.
because it's a highlight. It makes for a great day, and that's one of the things that keeps me going. I've always said that I think my boys saved my life because as deep as I got,
Hmm.
there was always something in the back of my mind saying, "Hold on." And now we spend almost all of our time together. We did then. I would see my friends and other people get high or get drunk and not be able to deal with their kids. And me, I would, I would, I'd do what I do, and I'd take the kids and we'd go play. Um, because it terrified me. My dad wasn't always around, and I swore I would never be that guy for my kids. And they didn't have everything in the world. We got evicted and lost cars and moved around a lot. But I was more a friend than a father. But to me, and I guess after I got sober, listening to them was better than nothing. Um,
So
because
what does that look like? And I think we can so when you did get sober, I mean, what did the relationship look like with the boys, and what kind of work have you had to put into that, and how honest are you with them? How transparent about like the past and everything else? Like, what does that? Because I know you've raised both of them now for
Mhm.
since you got sober, pretty much on your own, right?
Yeah,
Um, so how has that relationship evolved, and what does communication look like?
wide open. We
Okay.
are 100% transparent. We don't lie about anything. They know everything about my addiction. Hayden was a little bit older than my younger son, and he actually saw a lot of it firsthand.
Right.
Even though I tried to keep as much from him as possible, he saw me and his mom going to jail. They got to see both of us in and out of jail. And Hayden, he actually got to see quite a few. He got to see some fights. I was a fighter, and
Were you a winner?
occasionally I don't know anybody who wins them all.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to consider myself a winner, but not in all aspects.
Right.
And so I can remember coming home from a meeting in very, very early recovery, maybe weeks into it.
Hmm.
And I looked at my oldest son. I said, and I call myself an alcoholic. I identify as an alcoholic, even though I'm, cross addicted. I was definitely at the end a full out drug addict. I didn't even drink at the end, but I identify as an alcoholic. And I looked at him
Do you
and
mind, Jason? Do you mind sharing what your drug of choice was?
more,
Okay.
more,
So
more,
just kind
more
of anything. Okay.
alcohol, cocaine, opiates. Yeah, you name it. Yeah, you name it.
Jason
Yeah,
had it.
I liked it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Up, down, sideways. I didn't care as long as it changed the way I felt. If I
Hmm.
didn't have to feel like I did before I put it in my body, I was okay with it. I just wanted to numb the pain, forget about all the stupid things I'd done because I'm notorious for that. I get drunk, I get high, I do extremely irresponsible and stupid things. I was a blackout drinker, so I did a lot of things I couldn't even apologize for because I didn't even know I did it until after the fact. When I was being told about it. And So I came home from a meeting one night and I told my son, I said, I think Dad's an alcoholic. And he said, I know, Dad. And he said, but I love you anyway. Um, and so we've been full transparency the entire time. And if I'm not going to meetings, um, they tell me you need to go to a meeting. If they see me acting squirrely, they know the signs and they pick up on them, and they call me on it.
Right.
And they're two of my best friends. And now we've added another one to it. Our adopted son, and we love him. I'm pretty sure Taylor likes him more than she likes me. Um,
I think that's okay.
yeah, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. I think I like him more than I like me too. So yeah, it's me, Taylor, the boys' girlfriends, and we hang out here at the house, and we try to avoid the drama of the world because there's so much out there,
Right.
you know. So we keep it within the family.
Now, have the boys ever come to you? Have they shared with you kind of what their experience was?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And did you open the door to have that conversation, or did it kind of get brought up organically? Like what did that, and that, you don't have to go into like what the conversation looked like, but just kind of
Mhm.
how it happened and what emotions were
Originally,
attached.
originally, the first time we had the conversation was me and my older son, and I was probably getting on to him for something I don't remember, and it was thrown up in my face about it's my fault, the way
Right.
things are, the way we were living, and so I made amends to my boys pretty early on after that, and from that point forward, they were not allowed to throw it in my face anymore. We have discussed it, and my boys have told me numerous times that even through all of that, that I was a good father.
It's
That's
powerful.
a that's a hard pill for me to swallow because I saw the adult side of that. The responsibilities that I wasn't taking care of, and the things that most fathers do that I wasn't able to do. I think, like I said earlier, me being their friend and being spending a lot of time with them,
Hmm.
they equated that to me being a good father,
Right.
which I did help
So
coach
what
their
does that
football team.
relationship, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's
Um,
fine. That's fine.
so what does that relationship look like today? Like how do y'all how is it like transitioning into, because I've seen you with your children, you're great with them, they love you, they respect you, but you also are their dad, and it's very obvious that you are. So hearing that story, right, and like watching you in life like that, you that must have taken work. So like what do amends look like today, because I'm sure you're doing, living amends, and then also like how has the relationship changed over the last 8 years?
Um, Living amends mean, and it's so hard. I still tend to guilt parent. You know,
What does that
I,
mean?
I I have a hard time saying no or
Okay.
taking things away and keeping things because I want to make everything great because of how bad it was before.
Right.
And thank you, Taylor. Taylor helps me with that, a lot.
She's
Um,
got boundaries.
yeah, she's not scared to take a cord and keep a cord for a while. I want to give it back. She does. She does not. Um, we actually just gave a cord back last night, and so to me, making living amends with the boys is actually being a parent, telling them no when I need to tell them no, paying a bill, taking care of the household, making them get up and do what they're supposed to do instead of parenting out of guilt or shame, because a lot of people say I'm not that person anymore. I am that person. I'm still that person. I'll always be that person.
Right.
That person's just below the surface. And if I don't continue to do what I'm supposed to do on a daily basis, that person can come back really quick. So I have to. It's a daily maintenance. I have to take care of myself spiritually, and or I'll let it all go. So
Yeah.
I have to set boundaries, and they're my best friends. My family, Taylor and the boys are my best friends.
That's amazing. That
That's
really
what life
is.
feels like.
That's really cool. So if you had one piece of advice to give to somebody who's early in recovery or, wondering whether or not like recovery will work for them or whatever, what would it be?
Do it. Just do it. I went to seven days of crisis, and I've been sober ever since. Do it. What have you got to lose, right? I
Right?
mean, it's not going to get any worse if you give it a try, you know. But find people that are like minded,
Mm-hmm.
that are doing well, that are doing well. You know, they say stick with the winners, and that's a fact. That is a fact. Stick with the people you see doing the right things. Stick with the people that are saying the right things. Stick with the people that are happy, genuinely happy. There's a difference between someone who's gotten a job in early recovery and they're like, yeah, I'm balling, I'm happy. There's a difference between that and legitimate joy. And you will see joy coming out of someone who is living right and doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and listen to people, ask for help, and be willing to accept it. Um, because it's such a beautiful life. You know, we are the fortunate few. We are the fortunate few. A lot of people will never find this life. I've watched a lot of people I care about die since I've gotten sober, and it's hard.
So you just segued me into the next question because this is kind of it's my like $1 million question and something I've been because I don't know if you know I'm obsessive,
Yeah.
um and working in addiction treatment and everything. It's like for me it's like that question I've been trying to like solve, which I know I never will, but the more I can hear other people's opinions, I think and other people be able to hear those opinions, right? um why do you think some people can get sober and the majority do not? And if you had to wrap your brain around that, I'll tell you, I can't, right?
Yeah.
But try.
That one almost made me cry too.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's so hard to watch sometimes. Because these people come in, whether they're tired and they want to change, or the court system has sent them here, or their family has sent them here, and you get to know them. You maybe even sponsor them or mentor them, and it looks like they're doing great, and then you're putting a shirt and tie on to go tell their parents how sorry you are. Um, I was done personally. I was done. I didn't want to live that life anymore. Um, and I think some people cannot get 100% honest. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. When they're going through the process, there's things that they hold on to. And if I would have held on to those little things, they fester inside of me. I have to get it all out. I have to get all the garbage out. I have to make what amends I can. I have to let what amends I can't make go. And all the guilt and the shame and remorse, I have to let it go. Um, and I have to be honest with whoever I'm working with, whether it be a counselor, a sponsor, a therapist. I have to get all that out, because if I hold it in, and I think that's what a lot of these people do, they hold it in, and
So like a secret, what do you mean by
yeah,
it? What is it?
a secret, something they've done that they swore they'll take to the grave, and
Like
some of
shame.
them, shame, yeah, some of them, that's exactly where they take it, to the grave.
Hmm.
You know, I had to be 100% honest,
Right.
um, and some of them, I don't. It's the $1 million question, isn't it? Um,
Just
Ego, false pride, you know.
being too smart to get sober.
God, that's the worst, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know a couple, and they come in, they quote the book, they quote, all these things, and I watch them get right to the edge of death and come back, and then watch them get right to the edge of death and come back. And I've got to remain teachable. I'm
Right.
glad you said that. Being humble, stay humble, be willing to ask people, for
Hmm.
help. You've legitimately got. I was told early on in recovery that if you ain't got it, it's because you didn't ask for it, and that's so true. Every time I've found myself at a low spot, and I've said I'm at a low spot, people in recovery have come out of the woodwork to help me.
Right.
And, it's a beautiful thing. So that's what I do. I help anybody I can, um, and that keeps me sober today. That and gratitude. Gratitude is my biggest motivator. I'm so grateful for all the things I have in my life today, and I don't want to give them up.
That I don't think. I mean, I think that was a perfect answer. So I think one last thing, and then I think we're gonna end it. This has been golden, and I appreciate it. Has It's been amazing. I appreciate you like being able to like get vulnerable and like share this on the interwebs. Because this isn't a private group, and it never is going to be a private group.
Mhm.
So, um, sorry, but I'm all about figuring out how in the heck we take this message of, yeah, people get sober and we get sober in all different kinds of ways. And like it is possible to everyone because I believe that you get sober when you believe that you can,
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
So without that, like until I could see myself, visualize myself getting sober and being happy, there was no hope for me. Right. So I could see other people, I could do all this stuff, but until I internalized it and I said, you know what, I can do this, it
Hmm.
was never going to work. And I didn't want to get sober, right? And I've shared that with you when I got to halfway house, all that stuff, like I
Yeah.
had no interest.
Oh
But
no.
once I believed that I could
Yeah.
and I could be happy, I
Mhm.
was like, bet I'm gonna give it a shot, right?
Yeah.
So that belief is what I want to be able to like take and push to people, right? Like, and and there's so many of us and we're all so different, but like all of us had that seed of belief. Like, because in
Yeah.
order to do something, I have to believe I can do it and I have
Hmm.
to be able to see the path to doing it. Um, so
Hmm.
there are a million different paths, but it all starts with, holy shit, I can do this.
The mustard seed.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what was that moment for you? When was the moment where you believed that you could not only get sober, but stay sober and be happy?
Golly.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Because for me, it didn't happen until like 8 or 9 months of abstinence.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I was I was broken when
Mm-hmm.
I got here. I was absolutely broken. I was at my bottom, in pain, physically, mentally, spiritually. I was broken, and I made the decision to get help, and I started going to meetings, and
12-step meetings? Okay.
yes, and I would watch people and see. There's a difference between the joy and the happy, right?
Absolutely.
I can do certain things and I can be happy. Even in addiction, there were times when I was happy,
Yeah.
and
Y'all
I
know how I
can't.
feel about that.
Yeah, I would see the joy on people's faces that were recovered, or recovering, and
Ooh.
you,
Hold
you know
on.
people.
Hold on. I'm stopping you.
Oh,
That was good. Recovered, recovering.
yeah, I'll never be recovered.
Okay, so you're one of those believers. So
Yes,
tell me why you believe that. Because I believe the opposite, but that's okay.
like I said earlier, the person I was when I was out there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still that guy. I'm not a
Okay.
new guy. I'm not a different guy. I'm still that person. I am that person with a new belief system. I'm that person with a new set of tools that I use in my daily life. That someone that knew way more than me gave me, to make it through each day. If I don't continue to live the way I've been living since I've gotten sober,
Right.
I am likely to go back out. And for me to go back out is to die or end up in prison.
Okay.
So as long as I continue to do the things I did to get sober, I'm still recovering. And I am such a different person right now than I was last year.
Okay.
Last year I was such a different person than I was the year before that.
I
And
know I didn't like you a couple years ago.
I was such a jerk.
You really got on my nerves.
Yeah,
I've grown to love you though.
yeah, I get on a lot of people's nerves. And hopefully, that being said, hopefully I will be a different person next year.
Hell yeah.
Ever evolving, ever recovering. Um,
So
because
for you, the word recovering is like this constant cycle of growth,
and
right? It doesn't mean that like you're still super sick. It just means that like you're always growing.
I have to maintain and I
Okay.
have to grow. hmm
So you're like a
and
cracked iPhone, right? And you got a
yes,
shiny new case.
yes,
And so in order to keep your cracked old iPhone from not breaking, you have to keep the case on,
I have to
which
keep
is
the
those
faith.
5 things you do.
That's
See,
right.
me, I'm hashtag recovered, which means I just upgraded to a 10. But,
You
you know,
need no case. I mean, even Taylor's 10 has a case on it. Because I'm that guy. I believe you got to have a case on it. You got to protect what you have.
I'm case free. I
No,
live.
no, no, no. We're, we're a case family. My
So,
oldest
but
doesn't use cases, and I've bought him more phones than any person should ever have in a lifetime.
right.
No, because he
Yeah.
doesn't protect what he has. And I have to guard this with my every bit of my being. Because
So I think that's what's so cool, right? Is we have like kind of different beliefs.
mm-hmm.
And, but guess what? You're sober, right? And
And
happy and joyful. And so am I. And, um, the beliefs don't really matter, right?
I
They're good to
believe,
have for me.
yeah, I believe that no one holds a monopoly on getting sober.
Yeah.
Every
Mhm.
what works for me might get you drunk, but it keeps me sober, and it
Right.
keeps me happy.
So you figured out what was going to keep you happy. You had the belief that it was going to work, and then you went at it with all you got.
I
And
woke
you
up
keep your case
one day.
on.
Yeah, I keep my case on. I have to keep my case on. I don't need to get cracked because
Me
that's
neither. Yeah.
because that terrifies me. This life, the opposite of this, is which I lived before. It's so dark, and
Right.
that terrifies me, and it
Yeah.
terrifies my children. And I have an opportunity to now raise a child that may may never see me like that. Hopefully, God willing, will
That's
never see me
powerful.
like that. And I have a lot. I have a lot in my life to stay sober for.
Yeah. So is it fair to say that like your reality is not worth getting drunk over?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like we create these lives where like getting drunk, getting high, like it doesn't make any sense because we're okay in them.
hmm
Yeah. Love
Yeah.
it. Okay, so let's do this really quick. Is there anybody, I see we've got some people on the chat. I think this will be fun. If there's anybody, so Jason, before you've agreed, you'll answer any question, right?
Yes.
Within reason. Within reason.
Yeah.
So we're gonna open
Right.
up the chat. You get this is your one and only shot, people that are on here listening. Type a question in and Jason will answer. It
Oh.
can even be what's your birthday, Jason. We don't care. Just give us one
Woo.
question and we'll jump in and answer it. Or he will. I won't. I'm not sharing anything about me on this channel.
Well, you shared enough, didn't you write a book?
I may have written a book.
Please tell me it's about you.
What's your debit card number? That's a good one.
Ah, oh, she already knows that.
Okay, so
She,
that
she,
one
had it
it was Taylor. Taylor, you already know his debit card number.
she memorized it before I did. I still don't remember it.
Oh man. See, everybody's shy. Nobody wants to ask.
Yeah.
I
Ask
see.
away. I'll answer a question.
We're just gonna sit here until someone does.
Yeah, we can sit here. We can sit here.
That's It's patience, right? We have that.
It is. It's just like the silence Taylor said in a meeting. I can remember when I first got sober, I couldn't do it. I had to speak. If everything was quiet, I had to speak up. I can sit for 45 minutes in the quiet. Oh, there we go. How's it?
Oh, wow. That's a powerful question. That is a powerful question. So, do you want to repeat it, Jason, to the group?
For anybody who can't see the text, it's somebody who I love dearly. Just asked, how does it make you feel to see people you love live in an active addiction? Um, it literally it breaks my heart. I Yes, Jennifer, you're my favorite aunt. Um, it's literally one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Especially once you know the joy we talked about finding. Once you find that and you feel that joy, it's so hard to watch someone you care about live in the darkness, and that's exactly what it is. It's darkness, with the doubt always in your head. Where are they going to end up? Are they going to end up either dead or in jail? Because it's a definite possibility, both of them. I watched my father um, die from this disease, and it was horrible. You just, like Ashley said earlier, you want to take what's in your head, you want to take what's in your heart, and you just want to give it to people. You just want to give it to them. You just want to make them get it. You want to make them see what the other side is like. And it's really hard when you've seen someone get it for a little while and then go back to that way of life. And then, I have to watch people that I care about, watch people they care about struggle daily. That's a very real
Yeah.
battle in my life. Is to not, as hard as it is for me to watch people that I care about struggle with active addiction, to watch the people in my life that I love watch the people that they love, um, that they're supposed to be able to count on, um, struggle and steady, slide down and eventually will disappear. They're going to be gone, because they don't get it. And I just want to shake them. I just want to wake them up. And there's so many ways. There's so many ways. God, go to a meeting, go to church, go to read a book about it. Go to a self help, anything. Find somebody to talk to and get it out,
Wow.
because I can't do it alone. It's painful.
We've got a
Um,
powerful question here at the bottom, Jason.
um, which one is it, babe? Okay, my OD. Oh my God. Uh, um, Golly, that's someone I care about dearly. Watching somebody struggle with this or die from it. Debbie, I love you so much. And that's what, in my opinion, I hate telling people what to tell someone else. Um, what I always do is I tell these people that I love them. I tell them I love them. I hug them. I love on them. And I try and let them talk, because there's probably quite a bit she needs to get off of her chest and to let out. Um, so my best advice would be to be there and listen, and to maybe let her know that the suffering is over, because that's
Mm.
exactly what it is. It's pure suffering. Um, I don't care if people, they think they're not suffering, or It's not that bad. I promise. Once you find this side of it, you'll realize that it's all suffering. Um, so yeah, my advice would be to listen more than you talk, love, hug, be there, and assure them that the struggle is over. You know that
Mm.
that they don't have to hurt anymore. Wow, wow, that's tough.
Wow.
It's it's everywhere. It's it's really scary raising children in this world.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
I didn't know.
I'm blown away by the emotion that just happened here. I mean, that's God. So, um, I think Jason, thank you for being willing to answer those questions. And I don't think you could have said that any better, right? It's just like give them their space and just like and give them your love, right? I'm here.
Mhm.
Um, so look at that. Listen more than you talk so much. Yes. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
I'm
So
thankful for you, Debbie. I love you. Oh, I love her so much. And I'm out of
yeah,
tissues. Damn.
you brought them. Of course you brought them.
I'm out. I'm out now.
That's not
Oh,
good for you, Jason.
no. Well,
Okay, so let's wrap it up. Let's just Jason, kind of give your message. Like, if I want you to think that there's somebody on the other line listening to you, and they're thinking, okay, so you know, I'm not feeling great, or I'm at a point where like I'm thinking about getting sober, or like what's in it for me? Like, what do you say? Talk to me.
um, a better life. If you're thinking about it, do it. There's nothing but light on the other side. Don't, like I said before, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to accept the help, because that was my hardest thing in the beginning. Pick
Hmm.
up the phone. Pick up the phone. Call somebody. Call. There's so many helplines out there. There's so many things that can help you. Do
And we
it.
will, just so you know, after this video is over, we will link in the bottom of the description box resources to national treatment centers as well as the 1-800 crisis line. So we want
Hmm.
to make sure all of those resources are available to you if you're watching. Um,
Hmm.
help is literally a phone call away.
You remember we were talking a while ago? You asked me, did I get drunk over it? The
Yeah.
hard time. I was literally on my way to the liquor store.
Mm,
I didn't want to get high. I literally wanted to get drunk, get in a fight, knew I was going to go to jail, didn't care.
yeah.
I just wanted to get it out. I didn't want to feel the way I was feeling,
Run.
um, and run.
Yeah.
I picked up the phone on the way to the liquor store, called somebody, and they answered. And a group of guys stayed with me till about 2 o'clock in the morning fishing, um, just long enough, to make sure I was okay. Um,
It's amazing.
if not for those guys, I might not be here today, and I'm forever grateful for them. Some of them aren't doing so well today because they didn't pick up the phone. So pick up the phone, call somebody, um, be honest. Pick somebody you trust, pick somebody you can talk to, and let it out. What do you got to lose, right?
Right.
It can't get worse.
And it's so
It can't get
and
worse.
it's okay to say I want to drink. I mean, I'm in long-term recovery, and there have been
Hmm.
points in my recovery where I have thought about getting high. And there have
Yeah.
been points where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm like I didn't want to call. I was ashamed and embarrassed about that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And if I hadn't have picked up the phone, I wouldn't be here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
It
definitely.
happens to all of us, and it doesn't have anything to do with like how well you're doing in recovery or not. Like sometimes you just are going to want to drink.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I've had a lot of hard times, and usually when I'm having a hard time, I don't think about drinking or using.
mhm.
Um, the house we just bought, we have a pool, we have a great big yard, and when I'm sitting at the
And a
pool
tiki
or
hut.
I'm mowing my or I'm in a tiki hut, when I'm mowing my big yard or sitting at the pool or frying a turkey in my front yard,
Mhm.
sometimes the thought occurs to me, I would like to have a drink right now. So it's not always the hard time that makes me feel like I want to
I
drink.
get it. Sometimes I'm at a Thai restaurant and I'm like, I'd love to have a shot of heroin.
Yeah, same, same. Oh
No, but in all
God,
seriousness,
that's great.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
that's
sleepy,
our
Buffy.
brains, right?
It
Um,
is.
and we
It
either
is.
laugh about it or we call somebody, but like it's
Mhm.
just okay to think that way.
Yeah, I
It's
have the
not
mind of a
okay to pick
chronic
up.
alcoholic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the mind of a chronic alcoholic. I can't do this by myself, and I think that's where most people mess up. They want to do it all
Hmm.
alone. They'll go to
Yeah. And they
meetings or
want to
they'll go
hide those
to.
feelings.
That's right, and I have to
Yeah.
let them out. I don't have a choice. Um, I have to let it be known what's going through my mind.
Get it.
Hey,
Awesome,
sneaky
Jason. Well,
buddy.
this has been yeah, good to baby. This has been an amazing interview. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. It went in a completely different direction than I thought it would, but it's been like great. I like this format a lot. It's so much different than what like we're used to.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, me and Taylor are so happy that you're doing this. I think it's very important that
yeah.
this. I think he just peed down my side. Um,
He looks like he did. He looks
that
guilty.
I feel like this needs to be an open discussion. I feel like people need to talk about this, and not just people who are in addiction and alcoholism. There's a lot of people out there struggling with depression, eating disorders, just not feeling comfortable in their own skin, and hopefully they'll jump on this and say, I'm not an addict, but I have those same kind of feelings.
Right, and let's
And
break the stigma. Like, it's not
yeah, break
shameful
it.
to be someone in recovery. Like, I used to shoot heroin. I've got a master's degree. Life's okay, right?
That's
But
right. That's right.
like, it's okay to be an alcoholic. It's okay to be an addict. It's okay to have an eating disorder. It's okay to say, hey, you know what? I struggle with bipolar depression. Like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Abnormal is
have
the
to
new
live
normal.
in secret.
Yep. Abnormal is the new normal. What even is normal? I think it's
What's
us.
that saying? Setting on a washing machine or whatever?
Yeah.
That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
I love it. We're grateful you're doing what you're doing. I just hope people get on here, people see it, and it helps. I mean, if it helps one person,
That's
we've
the,
done our job, right?
oh, yeah. I think you helped a lot of people tonight.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Ashley.
I love you, Jason. And while he's on, just so you guys know, we are doing these every single night at 6 p.m. It's super simple. I'll just send you a link. You log on to my live software. I figured this out yesterday after all the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So if you want to share your story or you know somebody who would like to share their story, if you're into just like starting this discussion, reach out to me, whether it's through text message, if you have my number, or chat. You do not have to be a recovering alcoholic, but the point of this, so if you know somebody who's in addiction and you just want to like talk about what it's like to be on the other side, or if you work in the mental health care field, that's another big one. I've got a couple of doctors and therapists coming on to talk about like what they see outside of what we see, right? Which is going to be pretty cool. Um, so we welcome pretty much everyone, and I will interview you. This is a public page, so anyone can see it. So just so you know, and I will never make it private because I don't think it needs to be. And so if you can
No.
get behind that and you want to share your story, then let me know and let's get you on here and let's spread the message, right? Um,
Yep. I love you, Buffy, Debbie, Jennifer, Michael, Cassie, um,
awesome.
Alec. If I didn't Parker, if I didn't say your name, I love you all. I love all of you. I couldn't have done any of this without y'all.
Awesome.
Or
All
you,
right, guys,
Ashley.
we love you. We're signing. Yeah, without yeah. We'll sign
Good for
off, and
you.
we will see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know who's coming on yet, but I'm gonna talk somebody into it. And Monday is going to be a really big one. So we've got DJ coming on, and he's going to talk. And spoiler alert, it's going to be controversy. But
Yes.
he's going to talk about what it's like to be a black man in recovery.
Nice.
I'm excited
I
about
thought
that,
that's why I was on tonight.
Jason. Um,
Okay.
but I want to talk, I really want to get different viewpoints on here. And so he's agreed. He's super excited about it. He's kind of on his own project doing kind of the same thing with the YouTube channel. So when that drops, I'll let you guys have the link. But DJ is an amazing human being and has been
Yeah,
sober a
we'll
long
appreciate
time.
it.
And I'm excited
Yeah.
for you guys to get to hear his story. So we'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m.
We're
Bye.
out. Bye.
Bye, baby.